Hello everyone. Today I'm making a vegan lavender cookie. This is actually a shortbread cookie, and you're going to roll it out and you're going to cut your cookie into shapes. Today I'm cutting my cookie into hearts for Valentine's Day. So what you will need is flour. You can use all-purpose flour or a gluten-free flour works as well. You need your dried lavender, powdered sugar, a lemon. You can use coconut oil or you can use a vegan butter if you choose to use that instead. You need a little bit of granulated sugar for later to sprinkle on top of the cookies. I've got my vanilla extract and some salt. You'll also need a rolling pin to roll the dough out because you'll be cutting these into shapes, and again, whatever shape you choose, I'm going to do hearts for Valentine's Day. You need parchment paper for your cookie sheets. I've got my cookie sheets prepared with parchment paper. And then you need a clean surface because you're going to lightly flour the surface to roll out the dough and cut the cookies later. So I'm going to clear my table and get started with my dough. So I'm going to start making my dough. I do also have some coconut milk in case the dough is a little stiff and I need to add a little moisture to it. But I'm going to start by adding in my powdered sugar. I'm going to add in my salt. And I'm going to add in my vegan butter, and I'm going to mix it with a fork. Just grab my fork. I'm going to start to mash that together, and your butter should be nice and soft. You want to add this until it gets nice and fluffy. So once the butter and the sugar is all combined and mixed together, I'm going to add in my lemon zest. So that's about 2 tablespoons of the lemon zest. And then I'm going to add in my lavender flowers. And my vanilla. And mix that all in again so everything is combined. And I started out with a fork to get everything all mixed together. Now I'm going to switch to a spoon just so it's easier to mix. And I'm going to slowly start to add in my flour. And again, if you want to make these gluten-free, you can use a gluten-free flour. I use the vegan butter in this recipe, but I've also made it with the coconut oil, and they both work well and taste great. So I'm going to gradually add in my flour. And I do it by hand because I want to make sure that the texture of the shortbread has that crumbly texture, but that it still sticks together. I'm just going to keep adding in a little bit of flour and mixing it in. I'm going to slowly add in my coconut milk to help bring the dough together. So you may or may not need, the full 3 tablespoons. So that's why you want to slowly add it in. And again, we don't want to overmix. Like I said, we want the dough to be crumbly, but to stick together so that you can roll it, into a ball and then roll it out. So I've made my dough. My dough is complete. I rolled it into a ball. Actually, I rolled it into about 2 balls. And I've rolled it out onto my lightly floured surface with my rolling pin. I did cover the dough with some parchment paper just so it wouldn't stick. Now that my dough is all rolled out, I'm going to start to cut them. And again, I'm using my heart-shaped cookie cutter for Valentine's Day. So you want to cut out the cookies and handle them carefully because the dough is delicate. So I cut out my shapes. And again, on a lightly floured surface so it's not sticking. I even put down some parchment paper and then put a little bit of flour over that. So here are my little heart-shaped cookies. Okay. And I've placed them on my cookie sheet already. So I've got some here on my cookie sheet, my heart-shaped lemon lavender vegan cookies. You can also make them gluten-free by using a gluten-free flour. What I'm going to do next is actually stick them in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes just so they get firm. Then I'm going to pop them in the oven and let them bake for about 10 minutes. You want them to be golden brown, like on the edges, but you want to be careful to not let them overcook. They can quickly burn pretty easily. So the cookies have chilled in the fridge for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to take a little bit of sugar and just sprinkle on top before I put them in the oven. And again, you want to watch these and make sure that they don't burn. So about 10 to 12 minutes, depending on your oven, should be fine. And we're baking them at 350. So I'm going to put them in. Set my timer. So my cookies are done. It's time to take them out of the oven. Remember, you want to make sure you let them cool before you eat. So I've got some here already cooled. Oops, there goes one. So vegan lavender lemon cookies. It's a shortbread cookie. You can make them gluten-free. Remember, you can make them with a coconut oil, with the vegan butter, whichever you choose. Both ways taste delicious. For more great recipes, please visit my website, stacyfields.com.